Thank you very much for having me here. I'm very pleased to take a half a day off work and be at this conference. I work for a company called Harvest Power, and my presentation is looking at organics management and organics recycling. Harvest Power is a company based in Massachusetts, and we have a large facility down here in Orlando. And the core of the facility is beneficially reusing organics, converting organics to electricity and high quality fertilizer. And I'd like to say that I'm an engineer, so I'm stronger on the technical side than the business, but I'll do my best to answer business related questions. So Harvest Power, just a brief overview of the company. The core of the business is composting and producing fertilizer amendment. We sell over 2 million bags of fertilizer each year, or 33 million bags of soil products each year. And we own and operate 3 of the largest commercial anaerobic digestion facilities in North America. So this is just an overview slide of our 3 facilities. 2 are in Canada, and 1 here is in Central Florida. And the facility in Central Florida, we're co-located with Reedy Creek Improvement District, and that is basically the municipality for Walt Disney World. They're in charge of all the infrastructure, water, sewer, roads, irrigation, energy for Walt Disney. So it's a unique municipality, and it's a unique partnership we have with this entity. So at our facility, we bring in food, biosolids from the Reedy Creek wastewater treatment plant, and fats, oils, and greases from area grease traps. And we have a process called anaerobic digestion that breaks down the organics, and the result of that is a biogas that's very rich in methane that we use in engines to produce electricity. And as a byproduct of the organics breaking down, we have a fertilizer product, which is used locally. So our facility is relatively new. Construction began in fall 2012, and startup and commissioning in the facility was a year later in 2013. So we've been up and running for approximately a year and a half. So just some statistics. Every second, there's approximately 24 pounds of food waste that enters area landfills. So we're looking to bring material, organics, divert from landfills and bring to our facility. And we accept meat, fish, cereals, food scraps from the back of the kitchen, expired foods, damaged foods, pet food, liquid, oil and grease material. There's a lot we can take in and very few things we can't process. So here's a schematic overview of the facility. So this area here is where we bring in food waste, and we have a food waste processing system in this building which removes papers, plastics, metals from the organics waste stream, and that material is then pumped as a slurry over to this tank here, which is a mixed tank, and this tank mixes the organics, the food waste organics, as well as grease, liquid grease waste from grease traps, and biosolids, sludge from the wastewater treatment plant, which sits up here. From the mixed tank, the material moves to these 2 tanks, anaerobic digesters, which are heated and mixed, and the organic material breaks down in these tanks. And as the material breaks down, it releases a gas we call biogas, which is stored here. And from this bubble, The biogas is used in two engines, 1.2 megawatt Caterpillar engines to produce renewable electricity. So we use a portion of the electricity, about 20% on site, to power all of our equipment, and the rest goes back to the utility and goes on their grid system. So after the material breaks down in these tanks, it's stored here, and then it's pumped back over to this building where the water is taken out of the material, and that produces a cake-like material that is then dried. So the material, the cake material, the digested organics are dried to create a fertilizer, which is stored in a load-out bin here, and then trucks come back in, and the fertilizer dumps into the bed of the truck, and it's hauled away to local agriculture, citrus and sod farms mostly. So here's a photo of the facility at the start of construction, and then a little over a year later, the end of construction. So just a little bit about our equipment. The food waste comes in on trucks, you can see here, and the food waste is dumped into a pit, and we have a clamshell crane type system to move the food waste into our food processing system, and this removes the inorganics, the papers, the plastics, the debris from the food waste, and water is added to this machine to create a food waste slurry, which is then pumped to the mixed tank and the digester. So here's just a photo of our grease receiving station, which is basically a 20,000 gallon concrete pit that the haulers, the truck haulers, back up and using a hose unload the grease, liquid grease into. So just a photo of our food waste receiving area. Our fog receiving area with a truck, a tanker truck of material. This is a look at the anaerobic digestion tanks. Each tank is 1.2 million gallon, and they're bolted steel construction. They're heated and mixed. Here's the mixer that hangs down into the tank, and this is where the organics are broken down to produce the biogas. So the biogas is treated. Before you can burn it in engines, you have to remove moisture and hydrogen sulfide. So this is the tower for scrubbing out hydrogen sulfide. And after the gas is cleaned up, it's used in two Caterpillar engines. And the engines are housed in containers just to protect them from the elements and for sound attenuation. Here's a picture inside the container where you can see the engine itself. So as I was saying, on the back end, the digested material is dewatered in a centrifuge, and from there the material is sent to a dryer where it's dried to about 92% solids. So it's a very dry, dusty product, and stored in load-out bins and taken off-site for agriculture. So just some highlights of the facility are we work with Reedy Creek and also outside food waste generators to bring in material in order to keep it out of the landfill. And in doing so, we generate 3.2 megawatts of renewable energy, and the offset, the CO2 offset from this process is about 55,000 tons per year. And another benefit is producing a local high quality fertilizer product. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any other questions? If not, let's give Kelly.
Thank you.